What's up, guys? Welcome to Podcast 412, Fight for Purity. A bold way of looking at challenges that young people are facing. We'll talk about the naked truth of life and how to handle the problems you're thinking but not talking about. So strap in, get ready for another great podcast.
Hi guys, welcome back. Last episode we were talking about the boundary of taste, and we're going to continue that conversation today. Last episode was a sensitive episode because we were talking about drugs and alcohol, and this time we're going to be continuing a little bit more about taste. And
So you would think, why are we talking about taste? Like, why would you have to have boundaries when it comes to taste? But as we all know, something that's very that we do every day is eat. So every day we eat food, and so one of the things that we were thinking about or kind of discussing was just how, why do you eat too much or why do you not eat enough, and I think we're kind of just going to go into just that it has a big effect on how you see yourself, your image, especially in social media today, on TV and movies, everything's about, your body, what you see, how do you see yourself, how do you see your body, and I think one of the things I know that I mentioned before was that we're very quick, especially as girls, I think, to measure ourselves against everybody else, and you have in your mind that there's this perfect body that you're supposed to have, but there's no such thing as a perfect body, because we're all different, some of us are tall, some of us are short, some of us are fit, some of us aren't, so, just different body types, all of us, we're all different, but that's what makes us, unique, is that we're not all the same, it'd be really boring if we're all the same, if we all look the same, and, so we want to kind of get into that a little bit and just share how, how you see yourself really does matter. And, a lot of people struggle nowadays, with eating, overeating. Maybe you overeat, and because of stress or whatever, or you're just whatever, or you don't eat enough, because you think you're too, you're too heavy, so you feel like if you're thin, that's going to make you feel better about who you are, so I think I'm going to pass it over to Angelique, because I know she has a few things that she could share with her own, issues, I guess. Yeah, with her, yeah.
A lot of issues. Well, I guess I struggle a lot with my weight. It's not fun. It hurts. But I think it all stems down from just constantly from, how do I put this? My childhood, I was always compared to other people. I was always told that, why aren't you like this person? Or why can't you be like this person? And then it went from there. I don't know. It kind of comes out kind of trying to have a perfection type thing, if that makes sense. But then, I don't know, at the same time, there's more of a rebellion, where I'm going to do the complete opposite of what somebody tells me, because I don't want you telling me to do things. But in the end, when you have that mindset, you're really hurting yourself. So with me, well, not now, but I was constantly overeating, and I had gotten to a point where I was at my heaviest, and it was hard to breathe. I think when we went camping, I was climbing up the mountain over there in Pecos. There was no way. And there's pictures I look back and I'm oh wow, it's not healthy. Whenever you have an unhealthy relationship with food, and you think, well, this is food, I need this to sustain my body, but in the end, what are you really getting? There's a lot of health risks. No matter what social media says, people are not happy. Yeah. You can't breathe. A lot of health issues come. You're higher risk for a lot of things, I've come to find out. And if you're not watching out, you can get really sick.
Well, I think too, one of the things that you said was, well, you didn't say it, but you did it probably for comfort.
Yes.
Because it brought some kind of relief to you.
It did. It did.
So
it did, because
yeah.
So I had did a 3-day fast, and that's when I found out that I was like, oh no, this is a real problem. Because, like, there was a certain situation that arose, and I think it had to do with my son. Pretty sure it had to do with my son. And I was so stressed out that I was like, okay, I need to go get something to eat because that's what's going to help me. But when you really look at it, yes, it helps during that time, like it helps comfort you, but like the problems are still there.
Yeah.
They're not gonna go anywhere unless you deal with them. You know, like it's a process, and we have to work in order to really deal with things. And like whenever I wasn't, when I was younger, I don't know how to say it. You know, like being saved, like when I wasn't saved, when I wasn't in church. In simpler terms, I guess, I was constantly in like horrible relationships. So like I think that too, like the depression, it led to me eating my emotions too. So like the comfort, you know, I was comforted by food in like those hard times. I don't know.
And I think it just shows you that the issue wasn't, you know, it was like you said, internal.
Yes.
The things that you were dealing with was like you kind of were saying, was just with the image, you know, that was, you're trying to, you know, or comparing yourself with, or thinking that that's where, you know, you were going to get attention if you did or if you didn't or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And so I think that's kind of where the taste comes in, is that is that whole
Because
thing.
I know you, I guess you could say that you did it for comfort, like you ate for comfort, but I had a friend who I thought was beautiful in face, in body, and everything, but she was so like aware of what she was eating. She didn't necessarily overeat. It was just like, oh, that has too much calories or whatever.
Like a strict.
I can't eat this. Yeah. But, and like how you said but that was from her childhood, because she would hear from her family, like, you look kind of big in that. Or you look like this, or that doesn't look good on you. And so because she heard that all her life growing up, she was so aware of what she was eating, which was sad, because to me, she's beautiful. Like, she was gorgeous, face, body, everything. You know, like, to me, like, if you looked at her, like, you never would have known, like,
She had issues.
she had issues like that.
What?
And so, until we became friends and she started opening up about stuff like that. And, like, because I think there was a few times where like, she was so amazed that, like, I would just eat whatever the heck I wanted and I didn't care. Where she was like, oh my God, like, you can't eat, you know, that's gonna kill you or whatever. But like, but like, and then she finally kind of opened up that her family were very terrible at, like, especially when she was growing up, that saying like little comments like that. So she always constantly heard that. So she was always aware of her body and aware of what she's eating, and she felt like, oh, I can't eat this or I can't eat that or whatever. And I know some people, they'll either overeat or undereat because not necessarily those body issues. I mean, everyone will have body issues, but I know sometimes those body issues unfortunately stem from family and sometimes even friends.
Yeah.
Because they just, they say little comments, and will take grab of that, and that's all you hear.
Yeah.
And that's all you see
Yeah.
when you look in the mirror, which is
Then you
sad.
see social media, right?
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys
yeah.
have ever seen that thing where they turn like a pizza into like this beautiful girl. Have you ever seen that editing? It's like a slice of pizza, and they go back, so like they edited a pizza to look like this beautiful girl, like with this nice body. It was really weird. Yeah, and then they went back from their editing, and it's like it was just a pizza, because it's like a real problem, because social media, everything's filtered. Even like pictures, like you put on filters, and I remember I was like using them a lot too, and I had my son, I was like, oh, they're cool, and then like I kind of got off of everything, and then one time I had seen myself with a filter, and I was like, dang, it like squishes your face all weird, and I feel like I look like an alien, or I look back at old pictures, of the filters and stuff. And I guess going towards like body image, I guess for me growing up, it was always like when you go to Mexican parties, oh, you're so beautiful, you're so whatever, like from all the Mexican side. And it was always you have to be presentable all the time. So like for me, going to the gas station, I had to have like my hair done, makeup, going to the grocery store. So I struggled with body image in that form, like growing up too, of like I always have to look a certain way or be presentable in a certain way. And I started looking at magazines when I was younger, for like looks and stuff. So I always liked makeup because of the artsy side of it, but to be ready all the time and to look a certain way and dress a certain way was because I knew, like, if I go to this party and I dress a certain way, my family's gonna talk crap. They're gonna talk crap about me. They're gonna talk crap about my family. And it was always a constant reminder. And I mean, I know, like, she was on the rebellious side. I was like, I'm not gonna get ready because I know all you guys want me to get ready, so I'm not gonna get ready. Mine was always like, I need to be presentable, you know. And mine always seems like, yeah, you know. It's only like, for me, it was like, I need to be all the time, you know. And I think it was even them stemming from like childhood of like, I have to be perfect all the time. Like, I have to be this picture of perfection all the time, no matter what I do. And then, you know, and then you just hear all the time, oh, you always look so nice. Or even familiar, like, gosh, that family member looks all crazy, and you always have yourself so put together. I mean, mentally, I wasn't put together, but the outer appearance was always put together. People didn't know, you know, and so even when I had started working out all the time, like when I had backslid, when I left church, all my energy went into working out all the time. So I would go to work, and then I would work out for like 2 to 3 hours after work, like every day, you know, because the gym was at my work. Yeah. So I would stay there. And then even when I find myself doing it now, I always feel like it's not enough. Like, if I'm not sore enough now, so I have to get myself kind of out of that mindset even now, you know, of body and working out and stuff. And I had stopped working out, you know, so like now I've had to kind of be comfortable and kind of work my way into working out, but not to get in that mindset of, I mean, I don't have 3 hours a day to go anymore. You know, I have a whole family. I don't have that time anymore, you know, and so sometimes when I don't put in that time, I feel like so down about myself. Even now, yeah, like I didn't do enough, you know.
We'll be right back after this short break.
Contact in the eyes. Hey, women are like butterfly, beautiful, hard to catch. They shouldn't be annoying mosquitoes, easy to smash. Mistaken love for lust, you always find yourself stuck. You gave them all your trust, a kiss with the softest touch. Just because you make a blush, don't mean you're a royal flush. So many men, they victim and leave it.
Yeah, and it's the motivation, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, what's motivating you?
Yeah.
You know, like for young girls, like what's your motivation? You know, is it because you're trying to impress somebody, you know, or you're trying to get somebody's attention? And I think that's kind of like an issue is that, you know, you're trying to get attention, but why?
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's because you're not comfortable with who you are, you know, and that's one of the biggest things like about boundaries is like you have to be comfortable with who you are, you know. And I know we were talking about like even with makeup, you know, why do you wear it? Do you wear it because, you know, you're trying to get attention or you're trying to make yourself, you know, look beautiful? You know, not to say that there's anything wrong with wanting to look pretty, you know, obviously we want you to shower and, you know, all that stuff.
Hygiene is important.
You know, but, you know, but really, why are you doing it? You know, is it, you know, are you comfortable, you know, with, you know, like I said, and I know that's more of an issue, you know, with girls, not that guys don't have that issue. I think theirs is different, but.
It's just harder for us to talk on guys' issues.
Yeah.
My husband had talked about when he came here, they lived in Mexico for a while. When they came back here, he saw like the music videos and he saw like these guys, like, you know,
Six
they had,
packs and-
and they had all these girls and stuff. And so he didn't like their gangster style, he was saying, but he wanted all that. So he found his own style, which was like cholo and creasing his pants and stuff, you know, but it's because he wanted to get girls and look presentable because everyone at, what did he say, 10 years old?
Yeah.
Looked all crappy, but
Just
he
look at
wanted to
him like,
look good
"What?"
because he wanted to attract, because even he saw music videos of like these guys that had these girls, these cars, they had money, all this stuff. And so he wanted to look like that even at 10 for them. So I think, and I was like, you know, I don't know no boys that want to get ready like that.
Like,
You
look
know
at
what I
my
mean?
kid, you know, like he's like, whatever, I don't care if
Yeah.
you tell me I stink, I'm gonna
Yeah.
not shower anyways. But I
But-
think that's me.
And I,
Well-
oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay.
You got it. Just kidding.
I was gonna say, I think the biggest, like what we said, it's body image issues that comes with like taste and everything. But your body image issues they don't come from you. They come from some kind of outside force. If it's family, sadly, sometimes it is, and but sometimes it's also, like you said, from like
Social media.
pop culture. There we go. From like pop culture, from what you see, from what you hear, and everything, and that affects you and the way you see you, and you have to be careful, I guess, how like we said, boundaries, man. What filters, purity. We're talking about filters. The very first episode, it's about filtering what's coming in and out of your life, and that's why it's so important, especially when it comes to food, because you gotta eat, you know. So you have to think about like, why am I eating so much, and why am I not eating this? Am I trying to live up to this like mold? It's like the world and everybody, all the social media, all the pop culture is showing you like this silhouette of this figure that you are supposed to fit. And you're not. I'm sorry. we're just not. That's just not how it's going to be, because we're all different. And the biggest thing, I guess, that could help you with that is like understanding you got what you got, and you gotta work with it. Because like when I was younger, because we grew up in a Christian home. Like I wasn't allowed to wear makeup when I was younger, and it was sad. I was sad when I was little. You know, I'm like, I want to wear makeup like everybody else. You know, but it's because of what I saw. It wasn't necessarily because it's what I wanted. It's because I saw everybody else doing it, and so I wanted to do it. But because I wasn't allowed to until I was like older, I had to get comfortable with my own face, my own skin, my own body. You know, I realized this is it. This is all I got. But then what happened was that I got comfortable. I was like, I'm fine. Like this is how I am. This is fine. So that even when I did get to start wearing makeup later on, it wasn't to impress anybody. It wasn't because I saw everybody else wearing it and I was like, I want to look like that person. It was more like, I want to try this out. This looks cool. I like that design. I like that color. I want to make my eyes look pretty, or I want to make my lips pop. And it wasn't for anybody else. It was for me because I wanted to. And I think that's like a big thing now is like with your body image issues and everything, like understanding that you are you and it's okay. But like you said, be healthy.
Yeah, and even what you were saying, just, you know, be comfortable with who you are. I think so many young people, they struggle so much because, you know, you don't accept yourself for like who you are. You know, you were designed uniquely, you know, who you are. You know, your eyes, your hair, you know, be comfortable with that. You know, there's some things that we can change, you know. I mean, we can lose weight or we can get, you know, healthier. Yeah, or gain weight, yeah, you know, whatever it is, you know, but there's some things you can't change about who you are, you know. I mean, if you're, you know, 6 feet, you know, I mean, you'll probably stay that way.
You're not gonna get 5 feet.
You're not gonna be, 5, 7.
I always felt too tall growing up. Now I don't care. But.
Yeah, or if you're too, short, maybe you think you're too short, you know, you're, 4, 12, 11, whatever.
There's not much you can do about it.
You can't change that, you know, you can't change that, you know, but you have to realize, you know, hey, I have to be comfortable with who I am and what I have, you know, like you said, you know, because you really can't, you know, and we do live in a society or in a time where, you know, you can, you know, do stuff to your body. You know what I mean? But you're still who you are on the inside. You know, that's not going to change.
The issues that you see.
Yeah,
with
the
yourself.
issues. Yeah. That's not going to change anything. You know, it might, you know, be distracting to some or, you know, get attention.
Because I know like the biggest thing is there's always something that we're going to see that we don't like.
Yeah.
Period. Always, no matter what. Let's say you get fit. Now you're gonna be like, oh, I look like a man now, or like, you know,
we're
like,
never satisfied.
Yeah, never satisfied. So you're always gonna be trying to work towards something that technically, because I know like human nature is never satisfied. Yeah. Period. Yeah. So even in the way that you look at yourself, so that was the good thing about growing up, not being immersed in the pop culture is that. I mean, it sucked at the time because you didn't know what the heck anybody was talking about. But as you got older, you realize, how she was saying, like, you get comfortable with your own skin, you get comfortable, like, how you look, skin color, even, like, because my biggest issue was I'm petite, and I always, especially, like, now, like, petite that's not womanly, you know? like, according to everybody, so, but, like, because I was never, like, fully immersed into it, like, yes, I'd hear a few things, but at the end of the day, like, I got comfortable with it. Yeah. Yes, I can, like, change that to an extent. Like, I can get buff or something. but like, it's but I'll still be petite. Yeah, I might be like, you know, big old arms, but I'll still be petite, and I have to live with that. like I have to be happy with that. But, and I think everyone just has to realize, like, you do have to be happy with the body shape that you have. Yes, you can alter it slightly to make maybe be a little bit more confident in yourself, a little bit more happy when you look in the mirror, but not too, like, don't go, like, you know, trying to cover up that natural beauty that you have with a bunch of makeup. You know, you're hiding behind those big old lashes and like no. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not looking.
No, it's okay. No, these are the natural ones, okay?
No, but like, it's just learning to be comfortable.
Yeah, and I guess that's pretty much how we'll end it, is like making sure whatever you're letting in your body food wise, like what's motivating you for that? Is it because you're trying to fit this image that people are presenting before you that they think you should be looking at or looking like, versus is this for me? Am I going to the gym because I want to be healthy, you know, not because I'm trying to look a certain way, you know? You know, am I eating these because I'm just extremely sad right now, you know, and you can't deal with it, you know, or whatever, you know, or you're not eating because of whatever it is. Just making sure that your motivation, whatever you're eating, whatever you're letting in your body, it's for you. It's because you are trying to feed yourself, and you're just happy with who you are, and just understanding that you gotta be happy with who you are. And that's kind of where we'll end it.
All right.
So, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Join us for our next podcast. You can contact us through Instagram at podcast412 or email us at 412fight@gmail.com. See you next time.